the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of others. Please stand as the North Shore Long Island Jewish Center Emergency Medical Services Honor Guard present our national colors. The color guard will be escorted by bagpiper Ross Zastro, who's a paramedic with the department, and he's joined by the Fire Department of New York EMS Pipes and Drums Band. Performing our national anthem this afternoon will be Melly Rose.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Melly Rose, the North Shore Long Island Jewish Center for Emergency Medical Services Honor Guard, the Fire Department of New York City's EMS Pipes and Drum Band, and our own Ross Zastro for being a part of this very important day. Please join me in welcoming the chaplain of the Fire Department, Mark Little.
Members uncover. Almighty God, we remember before you this day those members of the emergency medical services who have passed away while serving their community, especially Andre, Maurice, and Ross Huffer. We are grateful for their leadership, their dedication, and for the sense of individuality that each one of them has given us. May the spirit of service which is theirs be ours also. May we, like them, be satisfied not with mediocrity, but strive for excellence. And finally, Lord, we ask for them the refreshing spirit and strength of your presence, that they may know the joy of being full members of your kingdom. And now the EMS prayer. As I perform my duties, Lord, whatever be the call, Help to guide and keep me safe, big and small. I want to serve and do my best, no matter what the scene. I pledge to keep my skills refined, my judgment quick and keen. This calling to give of myself, most do not understand, but I stand ready all the time to help my fellow man. To have the chance to help a child restore his laugh with glee, a word of thanks I might not hear, but knowing is enough for me. I praise the praise of men is fine for some, but I feel truly blessed that you, O Lord, have chosen me to serve in EMS. Members cover.
Thank you, Chaplain Little. Please be seated. Again, welcome to the New York State Emergency Medical Services Memorial. This is the 11th anniversary of the original den of this EMS memorial. Since unveiling this beautiful monument, we in New York State have placed 58 stars in honor of New York State's EMS providers who have died in the line of duty while serving their communities. This year, we again gather to add 2 more names to the memorial monument and our tree of life. Ross Huffer from the Nesconset Fire Department in Suffolk County, and Andre Maurice of the Richmondville Volunteer Emergency Squad of Schoharie County. In addition to our loss, there were 24 more line-of-duty deaths in the United States in 2014. As I look across the Empire State Plaza, I see the best of the EMS system among us. Your participation in this service today displays the importance of these people and their contribution to our society as healthcare providers and emergency medical responders. Most importantly, it displays their families how each of these gentlemen were a part of our lives and how they will always be remembered for their professionalism and dedication to their patients, their EMS agencies, and their community. Sadly, this year, 20 new leaves were carved into our tree of life. We can only hope that these leaves will remain empty for many years to come. The service today honors the important contribution of all these people have made to their community and to the state of New York. We honor each of these individuals who were part of our lives, and by placing them on the EMS Memorial, they will always be remembered for their selfless dedication and professionalism. We are proud to honor each member of these fine EMS providers and celebrate their lives at this service and for EMS Week in 2015. I'd also like to thank the many organizations represented here today who have been steadfast supporters of the memorial. The New York State EMS Council, the State Emergency Medical Advisory Committee, the United New York Ambulance Network, the New York State Volunteer Ambulance and Rescue Association, the New York City Fire Department EMS Command, the Firemen's Association of New York, Uniformed EMTs and Paramedic Union of the Fire Department of New York, and the Uniformed EMS Officers Union of the Fire Department of New York. A special thanks goes to the Office of General Services, who oversees and maintains our memorial quite lovingly, and finally to the many EMS services who come here each year to pay honor to our fellow EMS providers. I now have the distinct honor of introducing Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul.
Thank you, Lee, and on behalf of Governor Cuomo, I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you, Lee, the Director of New York State Bureau of Emergency Medical Services. We appreciate and respect and such gratitude for the service that you have offered all of us in your private life, as well as the role you've stepped into in this capacity. Commissioner Zucker, who spent so much time even working with emergency responders and responding to natural disasters before he was elevated to be our Commissioner of Health, but Commissioner Zucker, it is so good to see you here today as well. We are joined by Majority Leader Flanagan. Thank you for your dedication and look forward to a very prosperous working relationship with you on behalf of the Governor. We are also represented by Majority of the Assembly Leader, Joe Morelli from the Assembly, representing all his colleagues. And I just want to do, as I know a lot of members are here, a special shout out to Senator Bonasek, who his vision over 14 years or over a decade ago brought us this. he recognized that there were people who, heroes, the ones who also get on a truck every day, respond to a call, leave their families, leave them at holidays, leave their children, and are there to serve all of us. So thank you for having the courage to step forward and doing the right thing a decade ago. And to the emergency providers from all across the state who traveled here today, and particularly the families, I'm going to guess that it was a tough day to wake up. You wanted to be here to honor Andre and Ross, make sure we were here to pay tribute to them, but it also, I'm sure, you knew it was going to open up some raw wounds as well, and a reminder of the tremendous loss you've endured. So for your courage in coming here today to be surrounded by a loving family that cares deeply about you, I'm so grateful you came. I'm so grateful you came. I think it goes without saying that New Yorkers are truly at their finest when they're helping others. It's what we best. And our EMS providers embody that spirit day after day. They're the first people on a scene when help is needed. And there are so many times when every minute, every second is a matter of life and death, and they never let us down. They always show up. And I'm never ceased by the faith that we have, that no matter what happens to us, you know someone is going to be there to help you. We think about our personal stories. The time my little daughter was hit by a car. We didn't hesitate for a moment. We knew help was going to be there within seconds, and it was, and she was fine. Even 2 months ago, when I was injured on a ski slope not far from here, someone like Lee showed up on a sled to help me. I never for a second thought that I'd be left alone there in the snow. I knew someone, an emergency service provider, was going to show up. That's the bond we have with all of you. It is a faith. New Yorkers have faith that you'll show up, and you never, ever let us down. I don't know how we repay that. I don't know how we repay the debt we have for all of you. And we should never take that for granted, though. Never, ever take for granted. And the sacrifice that some endure, adding 2 more names to the 58 today, that's heartbreaking for all of us. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and no way for us to repay that. I can't fill the empty seat at your dinner table. I can't do that. I can't fill the empty seat on the truck when you're looking for Andre and Ross, just saying, where are they? Where are they? But I do know in the faith I was raised, and today we're joined by people of many faiths, and that's the beautiful thing about our country and our state. But in the faith I was raised, I was told, the Lord said, whatever you do for the least of my brothers, you do unto me. And that's what our EMS responders do every day. They are the ones taking care of the least of our brothers and sisters in their time of utmost need, and they're always there. We think about the people that Andre helped during his time, during his life, and even in his death, donating his organs so 5 more people could live a healthy life. That is the ultimate sacrifice in life and in death, and for that we are grateful. And I know it pains you to be here. I see the family. I'm so sorry. When you think about the life that Ross Huffer saved back in 1981, he saved a life from a burning house. He went in and saved another human being. And I don't know what that person's doing today. I don't know if they're a teacher, if they're a firefighter, they're an EMS, they're either a mom or dad, but they're here today because Ross had the courage to do his job back in 1981. So it's hard to say just simply mortal words. I can't give you the comfort that you deserve. But please know, on behalf of our governor and a state full of grateful individuals and citizens, our hearts go out to you today. We do want to make sure these are the last names, that no other family has to sit here next year and endure the pain and the welling up of tears that are no doubt to follow. May God bless all of you, the people who traveled here all across the state, grant you peace, and above all, keep you safe. And I do apologize. I was asked to be at another event prior to this commitment, but when I heard about this, I said I need to break away. I need to be there to let these individuals know how appreciated they are. So on behalf of the governor, again, we say thank you very much.
Speaking on behalf of the New York State Senate, please welcome Majority Leader John Flanagan.
So good afternoon, and thank you for the privilege of allowing me to attend and offer a few remarks. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor, and she had mentioned, while I may be here in capacity as Majority Leader, the person who's been a stalwart supporter and a great friend and colleague for many years. I just want to highlight again the efforts of Senator John Bonisic. You know, we, as colleagues, imitation can be the highest form of flattery. Sometimes you see people do good things and you think, why didn't I think of that? You know, that's a really, really great idea. So to Senator Bonisic in particular, I also want to recognize, I know we have a number of members here. I saw Senator Felder, Senator Roback, Senator Croce, Senator Murphy, Senator Seward, and Senator Amador. If I missed anybody else, please just raise your hand. But okay. I would say just a couple of basic things. I'm so happy and sad at the same time to see all the folks here from Wisconsin. And when I come to ceremonies like this, you know, I feel like it's solemn. We should pay in respect. And I had just mentioned very briefly to the Majority Leader, Assemblyman Morelli, that the bagpipes never get old. Never, you know, whenever you come into a ceremony, they never get old. I remember my own father's funeral, they had bagpipes. There's always something that is very special about that. And God did not give me many talents, including singing. So when I hear the national anthem sung as beautifully as it was today, that's part of what we do. That's part of the respect that we pay. And I think it's incredibly important. You know, the Lieutenant Governor touched on so many things. So to the Maurice and Huffer families, our deepest regrets and respect and everything that goes with it. I had a chance to talk to Mrs. Huffer. And apparently Ross was a short-termer. He only served 48 years in the Wisconsin Fire Department, but he served as chief and EMT. And I just want to hit on a couple of things because you have a lot of other people here. You know, I have a lady in my office who's an EMT, and I never realized how hard it is to become an EMT. I never realized how much time and effort and energy and hours and money it is to do that. And thank God, because the training really pays off. So I think of the big things, and you can talk about it going into a burning house and stuff like that, but it strikes me that there are two other components. You do things that are big and small every day. And sometimes the small ones are just as important as the big ones because you're the first one there, you're there to help. And I also think something that sometimes perhaps gets overlooked, it's the human touch. Just the expertise is always helpful, but it's the human touch because you don't have to do this stuff. You know, you do it for reasons that are meritorious, and all the people I know who work in these types of fields, they do it because they want to add to their community. They're not looking for accolades. They just want to help people. And I don't think we should ever lose sight of that, but, you know, I am, again, gratified to have the opportunity to be with you. My condolences, families, particularly to the Huffer family, who happens to be constituents of mine in my 2nd Senate District, and I appreciate very, very much the strong attendance, especially from my colleagues in the legislature. Thank you.
Please welcome Assembly Majority Leader Joseph Morelli, speaking on behalf of the New York State Assembly.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to participate. I've had the great pleasure of being at a number of these observances, and first want to give my sympathies as well to Ross and Andre's family for their extraordinary service, for their paying the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. Lee, thank you for your continued leadership. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor and, of course, Senate Majority Leader John Flanagan, who has just assumed his responsibilities, and I know he's in our prayers and thoughts as he takes responsibility for leadership in that House. I'm here on behalf of not only Speaker Hasty, who was unable to be here but asked me to convey his great thanks and gratitude for all the incredible work you do, but I do also want to acknowledge a number of my colleagues who have joined us, and there are a number, so I apologize if I miss any of them, but I saw my good friend Mike Fitzpatrick is here, Andy Rea, Joe Saladino, Chad Lupinacci, and of course you're going to hear in just a few minutes from my colleague Peter Lopez. And I think just share just a few words primarily of gratitude. You know, my friend the Lieutenant Governor indicated, I think, what we all feel, which is the extraordinary sacrifice that you make day in and day out, and that we do come to rely on people who are first responders, whether it's fire, police, emergency, EMT providers. And I think probably that says something about us. We should take more time as a society, as a community, to recognize that great work. But it also says something about your professionalism and your extraordinary service, is that we do rely on it, that we do tend to take perhaps for granted. But it's just extraordinary what you do. And I think, you know, the notion that the human instinct to run away from disasters, run away from danger, and you exhibit the complete opposite, the bravery, the gallantry that you exhibit on a day-to-day basis. I look at my friend Mike Pollack from the Brighton Volunteer Ambulance, who is, you know, a constant reminder to me, because he's so active and communicates with us so much, but constant reminder of the incredible work you do that people would not be able to do, and yet you do it day in and day out, and the state is enormously grateful for your service, for your sacrifice, for that courage that you display, and for, in the sad cases of the people represented on the stone behind me, the incredible sacrifice that from time to time people are called on to pay. So I am here on behalf of my colleagues, humbled to be here to thank you for the extraordinary ways in which you touch the lives of all of us. In your public service, we provide public service, and there are many people who do it in many ways, but what you do is special. You do public service in a way that few people would do. So I'm here to thank you on behalf of a very, very grateful state, and wish you Godspeed.
Please welcome New York State John Bonasek.
Good afternoon. To the Maurice family, to the Huffer family, we thank you for your sacrifice and support for the two fallen heroes that are on this wall today. When this monument was created back in 2004, we've had 24 fallen heroes. And at that time, I said, I pray to God that this tree doesn't grow. I don't want to see any more leaves on this tree. Now we're up to 58. And I know what any of the speakers say to the families today, I know that the hole in your heart is bigger, and I know your pain is greater. But I know this, we will never forget the contributions of your loved one. We will celebrate their lives. The other point that I want to make is when I look around this event, I see EMS from all over the state paying their respects to their fallen heroes. I see military, I see police, I see firefighters. And what I say is that the heroes of America are all around us. It is not your sports types, it's not your Hollywood types, it's not your music media types. The strength of America is our people, and you are the best of the American. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce Assemblyman Pete Lopez from Schoharie County.
To the families, we mourn, but we also celebrate. And you've heard my colleagues make reference to our men and women in uniform, whether they be EMS or police or armed services, fire. They're not there by accident. Your loved ones were there by choice. And they were driven by duty, honor, family upbringing, commitment. But most importantly, they were driven by compassion, a desire to help their neighbors, a desire to put themselves in harm's way, to leave the comfort of their home, not for anything other than for a sense of importance, the importance of helping their neighbor. And our faith teaches us, there's a saying, there can be no greater love than to lay down one's life for a friend. How true. Your family has proven that. Your loved ones have proven that. And so they stand for us as a symbol, as an inspiration, memorialized here, but on a daily basis, an encouragement to us, because they loved us so much that they were lives. And I'm sure that if they had a choice again, they would do it again and again and again and again, just as all of us here make that conscious choice. So I have a citation for the family. I'll present that after the ceremony. But I just want to say to you and your family, God bless. Stay strong. Let their lives be an encouragement and a support. Thank you.
Next, I have the honor of introducing to you the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Howard Zucker. The Bureau of EMS reports to Dr. Zucker.
Good afternoon. It is my distinct honor to join with all of us today to pay tribute to the EMS workers of New York State. 60,000 strong, New York's EMS professionals provide life-saving care in the most dire of times. These individuals possess the incredible character that leads them to put their own lives on the line every day to complete strangers and to care for them at their most vulnerable moments. They exemplify what it means to be a hero, to be a role model for all New Yorkers. On this special day, we come together to express our gratitude to all EMS workers, all EMS personnel whose commitment to helping others might someday require the ultimate sacrifice. And today, we honor two brave individuals who paid that price. Ex-Chief Ross Huffer was a 48-year veteran of Wisconsin Fire Department, as we've heard, dedicating more than 2/3 of his life to serving the people in his community. Aside from being one of Suffolk County's top firefighters, he spent 20 years as an EMT operating the department's first responding unit, and another 20 years as the evidence recovery tow truck operator for the Suffolk County Police. Now, at first glance, one may have noticed Ross's tough guy persona that many people have said, but to family and to friends and to those in the community, he was really so much more. Behind that exterior was a man with a gentle heart, a great sense of humor, who always put others before himself. And whether it was the time he saved a resident from a house fire, for which he earned the Medal of Valor, or the years he spent defending our nation as a member of the United States Army, or as a loving husband and father to his wife Kathleen and sons Paul and Stephen. He was simply just that guy who would jump first and help out no matter what was the cause, no matter what, to help a close friend, a complete stranger. And while his death is tragic, he died doing what he loved, helping others and protecting his community. Ross lives on through the example he has set for his family and for those who worked with him and for every life that he touched. We also lost another hero this year, Andre Maurice, a dedicated son, a brother, and a member of the Richmondville Volunteer Emergency Squad. Andre was truly an amazing individual who possessed two passions in life, among one being the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox, and EMS. And when Andre first joined RVES, friends and family described him as a butterfly emerging from his cocoon. He dove in head first and took every class he could, no matter how far he had to travel. And after only a short while, he was trained in CEVO, EVOC, first aid, all the emergency preparation courses that are needed. And his role as a driver and as an attendant, Andre's passion and dedication earned him the 2012 Member of the Year Award, a life-saving award and Emeritus Service Award for his contribution to the calls which he responded to. And even in death, Andre has continued to help people. His organs were donated and have been able to help 5 other individuals. He was also recognized by Congressman Chris Gibson, State Senator James Seward, and Assemblyman Peter Lopez for his contributions to EMS. And those who knew Andre have said that while he had so many endearing qualities, the one that struck out the most was his ability to remind everyone why they entered EMS. He will continue to remember them through his memory. And in fact, some have said that they can still hear him proclaiming, "I'll second that," which he seen at any motion made by RVES. And as such, that saying will be engraved on his memorial plaque. Ross and Andre, thank you for all that you have given, not just to your communities, but to New York State, and to all of those who look to you for exemplary service and to take you as a role model. We offer our condolences to the families, to the friends, and to join with them as they continue to mourn their loss. And to all the other EMS professionals, both past and present, we thank you. You play a critical role in protecting the health and the safety of all New Yorkers. And we will do all we can to support you and your families as we move forward. And as on a personal note, I really thank all of your services. I've been there. I've been in the back of the ambulance with relatives and friends. I've been there when we've called EMS, and I know the service that you do. And I do, on behalf of all the Department of Health, we thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zucker. Representing the EMS community, please welcome the Chair of the New York State Emergency Medical Services Council, Daniel Blum.
Thank you, Lee, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Daniel Blum, President and CEO of Phelps Memorial Hospital and Chairman of the New York State Emergency Medical Services Council. I've been an EMS provider for 29 years now. On behalf of the Council, I would like to thank the Office of the Governor, our elected officials, the Department of Health and the Commissioner, and especially the Bureau of EMS for sponsoring this day and creating this monument that stands behind me as a testament to the heroes who are reflected on. I would also like to thank all of you for joining us today on this gloomy and rainy day, which is poetically reflective of the grief and sadness as we mourn the loss of Ross Huffer and Andre Maurice. We gather on this somber day to reflect on the loss of Ross and Andre and acknowledge the inherent risk each EMS provider takes when answering the call for help. Unique each in their own way, Ross and Andre demonstrated contrasting and yet complementary attributes. Yet both of them were emblematic of the very best we have to offer. Andre was younger and a relative newcomer to EMS compared to Ross, who was a long-term veteran of emergency services. But both men shared a common bond, an unyielding dedication to answer the call for help from anyone who may have been in need. These professionals selflessly made the ultimate sacrifice in service to humanity. And today we bow our heads in humility and reverence as we celebrate their professionalism and thank them and their families for their service. We will never fully know the extent of the impact these two men have had on the lives of others over the course of their careers. We take comfort that we have role models in Ross and Andre, and pray that we will not have to convene here again to recognize newly fallen heroes in the years to come. To my colleagues, life is fleeting and fragile. Live each day to the fullest. Treat the people that you care for with kindness. and take pride and pleasure in what you do each day. For myself, I am humbled to recognize Ross and Andre and to be in your company here today. Thank you.
Also joining us today are commissioners from several of the state's departments, specifically the Commissioner of Agriculture and Markets, also from Schoharie County, and the Commissioner of the Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. On behalf of the department and the Bureau, I want to say thank you so much for coming here today. Not only do I believe that it means a great deal to the families of Ross Huffer and Andre Maurice, but it means a great deal to all of the families who have suffered the same losses that you have. And I think it is absolutely vital that the EMS community come here every year and remember the people who have given lives for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, the following names of those New Yorkers who selflessly gave their lives while helping others. This year's 2 names have been added to the EMS Memorial. Ross E. Huffer, Nesconset Fire Department. Andre M. Maurice of the Richmondville Emergency Medical Services. I'm going to ask Commissioner Zucker and Mr. Blum to please lay the wreath of remembrance, thereby dedicating this day and this ceremony in honor of all EMS providers who lost their lives in the line of duty. Chaplain Mark Little will now give the benediction.
Lord God, the days allotted to each of us are in your fatherly care. Though we are saddened that our brothers and sisters are no longer with us in the emergency medical service, we entrust them to you with confidence. May they live in our memory and in your presence in the happiness of your kingdom, where you live and reign forever and ever. Rest eternal grant them, O Lord. Let light perpetual shine upon them. May their souls and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Now today, as you return and place your vehicles back in service, safe travel, be ready, and Godspeed.
We ask that you please remain in your seat until the color guard retires the colors. This concludes our ceremony. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to come here today. We now invite the families of our fallen colleagues to come up and view the memorial, and ask that our guests who wish to see the memorial wait and give the families a few minutes of private time. Thank you again.